Okay, let's dive right into this beautiful game of nature, strategy, and tile placement. Welcome to the definitive explainer for Harmonies. Whether you're setting up for your very first game or, just need a quick refresher on how to build that perfect ecosystem, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to break down these mechanics, focusing on exactly what you need to know to get playing. The whole idea here is simple, but honestly, it's really beautiful. You're combining reflection and creativity to build a spectacular landscape. Basically, you're crafting a 3D world, tile by tile, to welcome wildlife and score points based on how perfectly you balance the terrain. And, ideally, you're snagging that perfect river tile right before your friend desperately needs it, right? But first things first, we need to clear up the fundamental difference between two core concepts, your landscape and your habitats. So your landscape is your overarching personal board, literally the physical terrain you're building out of colored tokens. Habitats, on the other hand, are the specific micro-patterns of tokens within that landscape that you actually need to attract individual animals. Simply put, you build the landscape to create the habitats. To make this easy, we're treating this explainer like your personal manual. We'll hit setting up the board, taking your turn, token stacking rules, attracting animals, scoring your landscape, and finally ending the game. Section 1. Setting up the board. You can actually get playing incredibly fast with just 4 rapid-fire steps. First, pop the central board in the middle on the 2 to 4 player side. Next, toss all the 120 tokens into the pouch and draw 3 for each of the 5 central spaces. Then, lay out 5 animal cards face up next to the board. And finally, hand everyone a personal board. The rulebook actually highly recommends starting with side A for your first few games, so flip to side A and you are ready to go.
Section 2. Taking your turn.
Okay, here's the crucial thing about taking your turn. Taking tokens is mandatory, but you have absolute flexibility to weave your optional card and cube actions in between those token placements. You absolutely must take all 3 tokens from one space on the central board and place them on your personal board. And yeah, it's usually the exact group of 3 tokens your opponent was eyeing. But before, during, or after placing those tokens, you can optionally grab an animal card, just don't go over your limit of 4 active cards, and optionally place animal cubes if you've managed to complete their habitats.
Section 3. Token stacking rules. Knowing the literal limits of your landscape will save you from some major strategic headaches later on. The absolute maximum height for any stack is 3 tokens. Keep in mind that water and fields can never be stacked upon. Those blue and yellow tokens are strictly flat ground. Mountains, they only stack on other mountains. Buildings are kind of versatile. They can sit on gray, brown, or red tokens, but they can never be the very top of a 3-high stack. And trees, well, brown trunks stack on brown trunks up to 2 high, and green canopies go right on top.
Section 4. Attracting animals.
This is the really fun part, where you start attracting magnificent creatures, like this incredible lion spirit, to your thriving ecosystem. But how do they actually get there? I mean, it's one thing to take an animal card and load it up with orange cubes, but how do you physically move those cubes from the card onto the landscape you're building? Let's look at the placement rules. Well, when you match the exact pattern shown on the bottom of an animal card, boom, you get to place a cube. Now, the pattern can be rotated in any orientation you like, but the height of any trees or mountains has to match the card exactly. Also, the specific token that receives the animal cube has to be completely empty, no doubling up on animals on a single space. Now listen to this, because it's absolutely crucial. Once an animal cube is placed, it stays there forever, even if you later build on top of that pattern and completely break the original shape. Oh, and if a pattern needs a red building token, the base underneath that building can actually be any valid color, which gives you some really nice flexibility. Section 5. Scoring your landscape. When it comes to scoring, spacing is quite literally everything. Notice that isolated mountains and poorly surrounded buildings will earn you a grand total of 0 points. A mountain has to touch another mountain to score, but if it does, it scores big based on height. A building needs to touch 3 different colors to earn its full 5 points. For fields, you're looking for multiple, separate groups of at least 2 yellow tokens, because each distinct group is a flat 5 points. And trees, they just score based on how tall they are, up to 5 points for a fully grown tree. Now your water strategy completely shifts depending on your board. Are you going for one massive, winding river on side A, or are you meticulously carving out 5-point islands on side B? On side A, you score based on your single longest continuous line of blue tokens, finding the shortest path from end to end. More tokens mean exponentially more points. But flip the side B, and you're getting 5 points for every distinct section of land that's separated by those blue water tokens.
Section 6. Ending the game.
So the end game triggers in one of two ways. Either the pouch runs out of tokens, or, and this happens way more often, a player has 2 or fewer empty spaces left on their personal board at the end of their turn. Seriously, pay close attention to your opponent's boards, because that 2-space limit sneaks up fast and will trigger the end of the game right when you thought you had one more turn to finish your masterpiece. Once it's triggered, you just finish the round so everyone has equal turns. Tally up your landscape and animal card points. Tie game? The player who physically placed the most animal cubes on their board takes the win.
And hey, once you have these core rules down, the manual highly recommends adding the Nature Spirit cards for a massive new layer of strategy. Basically, you deal 2 to each player, they pick one, and it acts as an advanced animal card using clear cubes. These offer huge bonus points at the end of the game for creating specific landscape combos, which heavily influences your strategy right from turn 1.
You now have all the tools, the stacking limits, and the scoring secrets you need to master Harmonies. It really is an incredibly satisfying puzzle of spatial planning and pattern recognition. So, the only question left for you is, what kind of world are you going to build today? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and happy building!